Hey guys, welcome to my first gaming video. The format of this might be a little different from those I do in the future. I don't know, let me know what you think. I've pre-recorded the gameplay and I'm talking over it now. This, of course, is DuckTales Remastered. It's a 2013 release of the original 1980, I don't know, something, NES classic. The original was a fantastic platformer, Capcom at the height of their game. It's got a really neat gimmick as you're playing as Scrooge McDuck and you've got his cane. You can hit things with it and you can use it to pogo forward as you go along collecting treasures from around the world. It's a really excellent game by itself, and they somehow made it even better with a couple of extra levels, some new secrets, a little bit of extra gameplay, and lots of cinematic cutscenes and voice acting. Although I will admit that the voice clips constantly happening while you play can get a little annoying at times. The soundtrack is fantastic. The Moon is one of the best all-time classic video game tracks, and again, they made it even better with the remastered version. My game here, I've already beaten it once, and I'm just going back trying to get money so I can buy all the artwork and unlocks from the gallery. But that's actually not what I'm here to talk about today. I am going to talk about the actual DuckTales cartoon, the new one. If you haven't heard, they announced probably back in 2015 that they were going to be rebooting DuckTales. And they started gathering voice actors and putting out clips and stuff like that, and I have to admit that for the whole build-up, I had a lot of trepidations about it, because reboots are becoming a thing, like in the last decade or so, and they have run the gamut from My Little Pony and Transformers, are franchises that thrive on constantly rebooting themselves, and sometimes even succeed at it, whereas things like the Transformers live-action movies, or the Powerpuff Girls, or The Amazing Spider-Man, not quite so good. And all I could think was, who wanted this? People my age who watched the show when they were kids are not necessarily going to take to the beloved characters being re-envisioned, and kids these days, are they going to care about a show about a guy who's trying to be the richest person in the world? If you think back to the old DuckTales, that's really what it was. You had Scrooge McDuck, who's this super rich adventurer, and his gaggle of hangers-on, most of whom were just there to be saved from danger. And in this day and age of, Occupy Wall Street and the 1%, does that really have any kind of place? Well, Disney XD had the foresight to put the pilot episode up on their YouTube channel. Great idea. It's called Woo-Oo, which is a really stupid name, let's face it, it's a dumb name for an episode. But it's a 45-minute episode, reintroduces all the characters, and I have to say, I was honestly pretty impressed. One of my big concerns coming into this was they're going to be either too edgy or too hip. The original DuckTales, Duckburg was trapped in like the 50s or something. It was a couple of decades before my time, certainly. And it's like, oh man, they're going to have like cell phones and the internet and memes and stuff, and it's like, well, they do have cell phones, and like Donald has a GPS in his shitty-ass 60s car, but it feels very natural. I mean, if nothing else, Scrooge McDuck is the kind of person who would have the latest technology because he can afford it. It made for a very natural fit into the world. The characters themselves, Scrooge is more or less the way he was. He's kind of crotchety. He's not only feeling his age, but he's feeling like he doesn't have a place in the world anymore. And then his great nephews enter his life and kind of bring him back into some semblance of importance. Probably the biggest change is the kids. Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby have gone from undistinguishable monster bait of the week to actual characters. Now, the triplets, they're fairly snarky, especially Dewey, but just the fact that they have different personalities is kind of unusual, and honestly, not too bad. Like, once I got used to it, not a bad idea. And then there's Webby, who is absolutely nothing like she used to be, and what she is now is maybe the best character in the show. Taken as a conglomeration, the four of them are kind of Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls, which also a Disney show, but I can't say that's a bad idea. I mean, they were good characters, and spreading out their personality traits among four characters, I guess, allows for some different dynamics. If there's one thing they've done right, it's Launchpad McQuack. I have never before appreciated his character like I do now. He was hilarious through the whole thing. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him, especially if, as I hope, they might be rebooting Darkwing Duck. Because within the first 3 minutes of this pilot episode, we hear the words Cape Suzette, Spoonerville, and St. Canard. And now I suddenly have a concept for why they decided to do this. Because what's big right now in media? shared universes. So if they're going to bring back Tailspin and Goof Troop and Darkwing Duck and have a big Disney Afternoon shared universe, that would be freaking awesome. I am pumped for this. And as much as I wasn't looking forward to a DuckTales reboot, if they bring back Darkwing Duck, I will be all over that. Because if I'm being perfectly honest, I really wasn't ever all that much into DuckTales. I watched it, and I really liked Gyro and Gizmo Duck, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with them, but I was way more into Darkwing Duck because superheroes. As for the plot of the episode, it took some interesting turns. Donald's arc is that he's trying to get a job interview, and who he ends up getting an interview with is a pretty good twist. It was funny. The action and the humor were as good, if not better, than before. I mean, the original show was very formulaic. It was very, here's a thing, and I need to get the thing, and we're going to go to the place to get the thing, and oh no, Webby got captured by a mummy or something, and now we have to save her. And I have a feeling they're not going to be doing that. The writing was sharp, the set pieces are fun, I really like the art style, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't look too bad. I have two notes of contention. First is the theme song. I don't like it. Whoever sings it, I'm sure she's perfectly good as a singer, but it just kind of lacks some of the bombast of the original. It was a foregone conclusion that we were going to get a new version of the theme song, and at least it's the same song. It's just, I don't know, it's lacking something. The second is Mrs. Beakley. I don't really get what they did with her. She's like this mountain of muscle, and she comes off as kind of harsh, super organized secretarial type, even though her running joke is she keeps protesting that she is not Mr. McDuck's secretary. I don't know what's up with that. She gets to show a little humanity at the end of the episode, which was nice, but I'm not really sure about her. Plus, I have to ask, what the heck happened to Duckworth? Where's the butler? He was kind of a major part of at least the supporting cast in the original show. A distinct omission. Granted, I think he is whatever the hell Goofy is supposed to be, so maybe that could be another link into this whole shared universe thing. Maybe? Maybe he'll show up in, the first season. If nothing else, the very final scene of that episode was what had me hooked, and I don't want to give it away, but suffice to say that a lot of the questions about the Disney characters that have lasted for as long as they've been around might actually get addressed. And this is, I think, what is good about this reboot, is that we're taking these interesting characters and settings and situations from the original, and we're running that through the filter of modern storytelling, which is less about formulaic plots. It's more about having strong characters, and it's more about building a world, especially if they're going to be doing a shared universe. So I think that's really what we need. Suffice to say, I'm looking forward to more DuckTales. I don't know if and or where it's going to be available. I don't know when it's on TV. I don't know if they're going to be putting anything else up on YouTube, but if I can get my hands on more of it, I definitely will. And if you haven't checked out the pilot, go on the Disney XD YouTube channel and watch it. I really recommend it. I think it's going to be a good show. That's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed the game footage and my rambling review of the DuckTales cartoon. The next gameplay video that I do will actually focus on the gameplay. But let me know how you like the format, and I'll see you next time.